So this is a 1930s feed sack cotton dress. It really is reminiscent of the 1920s. The jabot detail at the collar, then there's sort of dropped waist with the point, and the V-neck t-shirt style. It reminds me of the 20s and 30s Halloween costume dresses. The Halloween dresses were made in the cut of the times, which makes sense. There's a fair flare on the skirt, and there are triangle gores on the side. You can see the hem of the skirt is like semicircular. It even matches the edge of this table almost perfectly. Belt loop, no belt. I didn't receive a belt with this dress, so I don't know where the belt is, but there are belt loops, and it's just a piece of fabric that was folded over and then just stitched straight through the center, and the raw edge is tucked under each end and stitched down. Side seam straight down. Okay. Comes straight down. And on either side, there's a triangle. It's interesting construction. So I haven't had much dealings with the 1930s dresses or construction, but there's a triangular piece here. On this side, comes to here, and then this one here, and they meet here. So I'm not sure how they are incorporated. So whether that was just a piecing issue and a lack of fabric or something, or reason for that, I'm not sure. Or if it was the construction design. The hem is just, looks like just the raw edge tucked under and stitched down. It's machine stitched. There are some running stitches here. There's some here. So there are some hand stitches, but just like maybe basting stitches, or just quick stitches to put things together, and then machine stitched. I mean, you've got the best of both worlds. You've got your belt loops on either side, and then you've got your waist starting here and then down to a point in the center. So which gives a drop waist feel. Very, very much, you can see the influence of the 20s, and like you can see the flow, where this dress came from. Here again, I let this dart out, and I let it out just above the belt loop, and that was just to relieve stress on the arm's eye, give a little more room there. Triangle, and then a shoulder triangle. Here you can get a closer look at the pattern of the fabric as well. You can see the dots. It ends up a nice pale green. There's the pointed waist, really cool. And the skirt really kind of flares out. This curved bottom shape. Here's the side seam. And the triangle. See that machine stitching? Triangle. Side seam. And here the other triangle starts. So that's interesting. Lots of triangles. it's nice. It ties everything together because even the cuffs on the sleeves, short sleeves, and even the cuffs have a point there on the side. And those kind of details that really make, I find these historical garments very interesting. The details are so interesting. The cuffs, the pockets, the collars, the interesting. So, and it's all machine stitched generally, but there are hand stitches in it, running stitches that I assume, I guess, were basting stitches or running stitches just to join things, and then it was machine stitched. I'll get a closer look at that inside the garment. So, short sleeves. There's some tucks, shoulder, and then we come up, and there's a tuck, or a little dart, whatever you want to call it. And there's two of them on each side. There's one, and there's one. And then even on the collar, almost seems to be, I guess, I don't know. It's, oh yeah, there is one, another. There's a third beside the collar. That's what that is. So I guess the collar is stitched on over. Interesting detail. Down into a V-neck. And the jabot again, tucks. See, nice, interesting to see carry through of details. Okay, here's a closer look at one of the belt loops. You can see the stitching right down through the center. And then at the ends, the raw edges are just tucked under and stitched, and the loop stitched down. Okay, the underside, you can see that just a strip folded to the center. There, just a strip folded and stitched through the center. Now, what's this? Is there a little fold over here? Was it wrapped around? That's interesting. Point on the end of the jabot, point at the end of the collar, V-neck. So each side stitched down, meeting the point. feels like that might be the edge of the jabot. So, and up to about there seems to go straight across. Stitch down with the collar. Okay, and inside, we'll take a closer look at the inside later, but interesting, these little tucks. And I don't know if that was why these little tucks are here. Very tiny tucks. And I don't think that they show through on the other side, which is also interesting. They're very fine. You can see the stitches there. Very fine. It's a very fine little dart or tuck. Doesn't show through on the other side, so I'm not sure why they were there. If it was just to help facilitate the curve of the neck hole, but it doesn't seem necessary. So I don't know if that's raw I just tucked under to meet and then stitch. And collar strip stitch around the back. And there's those little tucks. So you can see them a little. So that's a fine detail. That's interesting. Nice curved collar. Okay, and so again over on this side of the collar we have the 3 tucks as well, but there's more space between the one near the collar and the collar. Just a little more space there. It's not a big difference. This is the collar seam. Stitched on. And then that tuck, so there's a little more space. One tuck, 1, 2, and 3. Nice detail. And here on the arm side you can see some of the running stitch through. So there is some hand stitching on this, like I said, just to construct things, put them together loosely, and then it was machine stitched. But it's really nice to see those hand stitches. The sleeve here, sleeve seam under the arm meets the side seam. It was a dart which I have let out to ease strain on the arm's eye. You can see the repair that I did. There's not much of it visible though. A lot of the damage is now in the seam allowance in here. So I was quite happy with how this turned out, and I have worn it since. It's a good repair. Held stitch line of that dart that was let out. Here you can see where it goes right up to the side seam here. There's a cuff. It's a one-piece sleeve, looks like. Then, and on the top, it's on the outside. Nice point again. Nice carry through. Here's a shot of the back. That nice curve on the hem. Flare out on the skirt. And the waist this time, there's no point on the back, just a nice curve, slight curve.